When you look at your current situation, you would be forgiven to think that rich people are either born rich or they get rich through crafty, weird means. Everything looks bleak and dark in front of you and you just can't imagine yourself rich in 6 months. Well, I've got good news for you. I want to let you know that it's actually possible for you to become rich in 6 months' time. And in this video, if you stick around right through to the end, I'm going to share with you how you can make this possible. I mean, this could be the life-changing video for you. So stick around right through to the very end. The first thing is for you to understand what being rich means to you. I mean, listen to me carefully. Rich to you. You see, it's very easy for us to define rich depending on the context of the world, or to define rich depending on the context of our closest friend. Your closest friend, for them, richness might be having the latest iPhone that comes out every year and having the very best car and having the best clothes. You know, for them, that's the definition of richness. For some other people, richness is simply having a lot of material possessions and having too much money in the bank. But for you, what does richness entail? I mean, I know a lot of people for whom richness entails owning a guitar, having the very best meals that are organic, you know, everything is just organic, and then living by the lake. I mean, if they can get those things, they are rich. They don't need anything more than that. So you need to understand what richness means to you. If you understand what richness means to you, it will ensure that you don't chase vanity. You see, a lot of people live their lives chasing vanity. They waste their lives because they're trying to chase things which in the end don't even mean anything to them. They look back 10, 20, 30 years and they're like, what the hell was I trying to do? They were probably chasing the very latest car and they managed to get the very latest car, but they noticed that they were not satisfied and they were not happy. And very many years later, they now noticed that actually what they needed was to simply have a calm life, living with their family, and they would have been happy. So you need to make sure that you sit down, internalize, I mean, spend time meditating, spend time thinking about your own life, spend time understanding the perspectives of life, and consider, what does rich mean to you? Aren't you going to sit down 5, 10 years down the road, 50 years down the road, or maybe on your deathbed and start regretting, and you're like, why did I waste my time chasing valuable things? Yeah. So define richness to you, because it's going to be the driver and the dependent thing for you to understand what to do with your life. Now, after you've defined what that is to you, the next thing is for you to change your mentality. You need to believe that it is possible for you to become rich. And I mean, you need to understand that it's actually possible for you to become rich in just 6 months. If you look at a lot of people around you, most people will have negative thoughts. People have negative connotations. Actually, some people don't even believe that it's possible for them to get $1 million. To them, it's a world of impossibilities. In the world, the way the world works is that if you set your mind on something negative, usually you're going to develop into this negative thing. Yeah, if you set your mind and continuously look out for positive things, you're going to see the opportunities that life brings. If you're consistently looking at the negative side, once the negative things appear, you're just literally going to jump at them and going to be like, whoa, I expected it, I knew it was coming. But if you expect the positive things, you're going to attract them, they're going to work towards you. So you've got to believe. The thing with believing and accepting that it's possible is that it gives you the momentum, it gives you the ability to place your life in your own control. A lot of people believe that whatever will be, will be. That's something that I personally don't believe. And it's something that I don't advise you to believe. I mean, you've got to believe that it is possible. Actually, if you've gotten to this point of the video, I want you to comment in the comment section below and write that it is possible for me to become rich. Yeah? You need to understand that it is possible for you to become rich. I mean, write it when you actually mean it. It is possible for me to become rich. I personally, for example, always believed that it was possible for me to become rich. I didn't grow up in a rich family. My parents were not wealthy. They didn't have a lot of money. I mean, it was a long while until any of my parents actually ever owned a car. So I do understand that you can come from a really poor background and actually make it to a lot of money. Currently, I can buy a car when I choose to buy it. I can build a house when I choose to build a house. I can buy a piece of land when I choose to buy a piece of land. But it wasn't always that way. It's actually possible. So if you didn't believe anything, at least believe in the fact that I actually did it. Then you'll understand that you can actually do it. Anyone can do it. It doesn't matter what part of the world that you're in. So if you get this positive mentality in your mind, the advantage with the positive mentality is that it opens up your eye to opportunities. If you're not looking out for opportunities, if you're not looking out for the good things, it's very easy for you to miss them. They present themselves before you, but because you're not expecting them, because you're not looking out for them, they'll just disappear. So I mean, write it again in the comment section. I can make it. I can become rich in 6 months. The next step is to set goals. Now, setting goals is very important. Now you've set your mentality, you actually know that you can do this thing. Next up is to set goals. Now you need to make sure that the goals you set can actually be attained, but they're not too close. I mean, they are something which you have to work towards, but then you believe that you can attain them. You need to set goals that are just a little bit further than what you actually think possible. Now, these goals should have actionable steps. I mean, there should be things that you can do to establish them. Don't just have goals, but not have a route to actually make them come to pass. Then those are not useful goals. You need to make sure that the goals are incremental. One thing leads to another. You need to make sure that the goals have timelines, you know. You need to make sure that, for example, you have a short-term goal. Maybe in 1 month's time, I should maybe be earning $1,000. And then in 2 months' time, I should be earning $1,500. And in 6 months' time, maybe it will be $5,000. You need to make sure that they are actionable. There's something that you can actually do about these goals to ensure that they are achievable. Yeah, they should literally be within your reach. You should draw a path and a plan there. Remember, right from the beginning, we believed that it's now possible. Yeah, it's possible. So when you set these goals, you need to sit down now carefully and craft your way. How do I move towards these goals? Is it actually possible for me realistically to go towards these goals? Now, at the beginning, it might not appear possible, but if you sit down and give it a lot of thought and look at all the possibilities of the things that you can actually do, then you'll actually notice that you can attain some of these goals. And that's going to lead us to the very next point. And the next point is develop a valuable monetizable skill. You see, once you've set your goals, the next thing is you're going to have to get money, you know, to accomplish these goals. And the easiest way, or one of the easiest ways of actually accomplishing these goals, is developing a skill, a monetizable skill. Now, a lot of people will think to themselves that they're like, oh, I'm old, you know, I'm 30, I'm 40 years old. Is it even possible for me to develop a skill? Guys, the thing about developing a skill is that all it requires is dedication. That's all. Dedication. Actually, just 1 hour every day, dedicating it to you moving towards that skill and learning that skill is enough for you to get to a basic level of learning a skill. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've personally taught myself. I've taught myself photo editing. I taught myself graphic designing. I taught myself video editing. I taught myself farming. I taught myself playing guitar. I taught myself Spanish as a language. All these things simply by dedicating about 1 hour, 1.5 hours each and every day to learning these things. Of course, a lot of them I did at different times. It was not like concurrently. But if you dedicate yourself to doing these things, you will gain the mastery. I mean, you'll get some of these skills. So dedicate yourself to learning a particular skill. You might not be interested in it, but if you have something that you're pointing towards, a target that you have, you've set a goal, there's something you need to accomplish, then you'll find the dedication in your heart. I mean, when you wake up first thing in the morning, dedicate this 1 hour maybe to learning this particular language. Maybe this particular language is going to take you places. It's going to give you opportunities that you didn't have. For me, for example, learning Spanish actually opened me up to a lot of opportunities. I can tell you very clearly that if I hadn't learned Spanish, I wouldn't be here. Because when I learned Spanish, it opened the opportunity for me to go to a Spanish-speaking country for the very first time. This was the very first time that I left my country. And when I went there, I got exposed to the outside world. I got exposed and saw thinking that's outside what I'm used to. Thinking that's different from what I've seen people around me think. And that's what opened up my eyes and the ideas and the thoughts of me doing business, simply because I had learned a language. Now, I could never have known that learning a language could have given me such an opportunity, but it did. Yeah, so you need to make sure that you place yourself in the path for opportunities to knock your way. If I hadn't learned Spanish, I could never have known that this was an opportunity waiting. But because I learned the language, when the opportunity presented itself, I took it up. It's just like I taught myself photo and graphic designing. But at the beginning, I didn't think it was a necessary skill. It's just something that I loved and I was interested in. But it has turned out to be handy in that I use it for my YouTube videos. I use it to edit thumbnails. I use it for editing a lot of things in my businesses. So it's important that you learn a skill, because a lot of these skills are going to present a lot of of opportunities before you. Now, after you've learned your skill, the next thing is to monetize your skill. A lot of people actually do have skills, but they don't understand that they can monetize them. Did you know that you can monetize a lot of the skills you have? I mean, if you know another language, you can monetize that ability to know another language into being a translator or something like that. If, for example, you understand a lot of computer stuff, you can monetize that skill to learn computer designing, graphic designing, a lot of things that other people don't know that you can actually utilize. So you can have a lot of opportunities to monetize those skills. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, I've just started learning this skill. How can I monetize it? I mean, I don't know too much about it. That's it. The thing about teaching particular things and doing particular things is the more effort you put into it, in trying to teach other people or in trying to make sure that you do the very best out of it, the better you become at it. For example, I personally, when I learned graphic designing, the very first thing that I utilized for it was to design stickers. I used to design bumper stickers and place these bumper stickers on cars, you know, people's cars. A lot of them were scriptures, and I used to design them personally, and I used to sell them, you know, at the university, on the streets, take them to churches, and I utilized a lot of these skills later on because I needed to make sure that my bumper stickers are really good and people can buy them. So every other bumper sticker I made, I tried to make sure that it's better than the previous one. And so that perfected my skill while I was also earning money. So you don't need to be an expert, you don't need to be very good. Of course, you might not get too many people coming to buy at the beginning, but due to the fact that you're putting in effort to make sure that you sell and get money out of whatever you're doing, it will ensure that you do it better and a little bit better next time and a little bit better. So as early as you can, try to monetize your skill. I mean, you might not get the very best bucks out of it, but it accelerates your growth and it opens you up to opportunities. While for you might think the work is not good, you'll be surprised how many more people you can do it better than, and how many more people will actually come to you and purchase the ability that you have from you. So try to monetize that skill and place it outside there. Now, once you've gotten to this level, the only other thing you can do is get better. I mean, just get better and replicate the process. But herein comes the next point. Do not let people pull you down. The thing about people is that people do not want other people to become better than them. And when they notice that someone else has started moving ahead, it's like unintentionally they do everything that they can to pull you back. I mean, it's not intentional. It's not like people sit and they're like, whoa, I want to pull this person back. But it's a natural thing that we don't want to be left behind. And what that means is that a lot of people are going to start discouraging you. They'll tell you what you're doing doesn't make sense. They'll tell you, well, you're wasting your time, you're not confident enough. I think, you know, this would be a better suit for you. No, if you believe you can do it and you think you have a chance at it, I mean, go for it, go for it. The people who are saying it, most of them are not successful. In fact, in life, it doesn't matter who you go to the next person next to you and ask them, do you think you're successful in life? There are very few people, I mean, less than 20% of people on earth are going to tell you that they think that they are successful. So if most people don't believe that they are successful, why would you listen to them? I mean, you're chasing success, but you're listening and taking advice from people who don't believe that they can be successful or who don't believe that they are successful. So try to ignore other people. Don't let them pull you. I mean, move when you're very focused. Most people in the world are negative. Most people in the world are not interested in seeing other people move forward. So don't listen to them. I mean, stay laser thin focused and move in a straight line. Move towards your goal and don't let other people move you. And then the other point is, do not let hard times pull you down. Now, what you need to understand about hard times is that they happen to everyone. It's not only you. You might think to yourself that you're broke. That's why hard things happen to you. I mean, even the richest people have really tough times. In fact, the richer people usually have even tougher times. I mean, they'll have huge debts you can't even imagine, crazy huge debts. And it's just that they have learned to handle and deal with these situations, and they understand that these situations happen and these situations are meant to be dealt with. So you need to understand that the tough times are going to come. They are really going to come, whether it's negotiating with the client, whether it's cracking a business deal that completely fails, whether it's someone who's going to come and, you know, lie to you and take your money. They're going to scam you terribly. You need to understand that these things happen once in a while and they happen to everyone. It's not exclusive to you. If there's anyone who has never had a bad thing happen to them in business, let me know in the comment section below. If you're there and nothing bad has happened to you in your way and in your path in developing, then tell me in the comment section below. I mean, there's going to be no one. But if you're there and terrible things have happened to you, but they haven't let you fall, let us know in the comment section below so that others also get encouraged, you know, to move forward. I mean, just go to the comment section. You're going to see everyone who is having really tough times, people who have been struggling, they have gone through really tough things, but they have made it through. Yeah, so you need to understand that you're not unique, you're not alone. It's not only you being pressurized in the world. These things happen to everyone, but you look at other people and you think that they are successful. But they also have tough times. So understand that the tough times will happen to you, but they should not break you. Allow yourself to move forward, go through these tough things. A lot of the tough things that happen in life are simply meant to develop you, to strengthen you, to pull you out of these difficult times. So accept them the way they come, learn from them, and utilize them to propel you right to the very top. And so if you've watched this video and you're probably working, you've started making money, you would imagine that starting a side hustle would be a good idea, something that would propel you, something that would bring you more money. Well, I want to let you know that in most circumstances, starting a side hustle is actually a terrible idea. And I want to tell you why in this video right here, and what you should be doing instead of starting a side hustle that will actually ensure that you get to financial freedom way quicker. Check it out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.